Hello, Chiefs fans, and welcome to the Super Bowl edition of Kingdom Corner. I'm happy to say that we're in the game, folks. We've officially run it back. We're all the way there. There's one more mission to complete. A Super Bowl victory for the Kansas City Chiefs over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got their work cut out for them. But I'm here to let you know that it's not as bad as you think it is. It's not as tough as you might think it is. Any of you, half of Chiefs Kingdom, are still concerned about this team. I know half of you out there are like me. You feel pretty darn good about our chances, and you feel like this is going to be as close to a slam dunk as a Super Bowl victory can be. You still got to play the game. Still got to go through battle. Once again, I want to thank you guys for tuning into RGR Football. If you're not already a member or a subscriber, go ahead and click that subscription tab down there and click on the little notification bell so you get videos from us when we do future posts. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming up in the off season as well. Hopefully starting with a post Super Bowl victory video, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've got one more game to win. Going into this game, it was the run it back season. I got the little koozie and everything, all this like merch, run it back. And I said from the get-go, it wasn't a memo. It's a mission statement. Anybody who watched Jerry Maguire knows the difference between the two. It's a big difference. Just saying an idea and saying a plan, the plan of attack. And it started with Brett Veach reinforcing this roster that already existed and bringing back a lot of the guys that had already won it. Because here's the thing. There's a big rule in this universe that I like to follow and I believe is a truth. It's a truism, all right? Man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he can't. This goes for ladies too. I just say man, humankind, whatever. It's what I was raised on. The person who thinks they can and the person who thinks they can't are both right, all right? If you believe in yourself, you have self-belief and you're reaching, striving for a difficult goal, but especially if it's one that's been accomplished by another human being previously, it's attainable. It's attainable. I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of stats on this show. This is the pump up. This is the pre-game pump up that you all need. I've got my combat toque, my little knit cap that came in yesterday, which is awesome, and I love it. And thank you, Chiefs Pro Shop. And I'm really stoked about CKC and C for Chiefs. And you got the logo. It looks like a military insignia for the vehicle. Anyway, this team went from run it back season to rerun playoffs. This playoffs has been a rerun. Entering the Elite Eight, the final 8 teams of these playoffs, they had a better than 50% chance of facing a team that they'd already defeated. Because Kansas City was one of those 8 teams. The Browns, the Rams, and the Buccaneers, or the Packers, were the only 3 teams. Browns, Rams, and Packers were the only 3 teams they hadn't beaten in the regular season already. The other 4 teams were the Bills, the Ravens, who they'd already beaten in the AFC. They're the only hindrances besides the Browns to get them to the Super Bowl that they hadn't already defeated. And on the other side of the coin were the Buccaneers and the Saints. Fast forward to the next round, we get past the Browns. Now it's down to the Bills and the Ravens. We've already beaten both of those teams. The other side, you got the Packers and you got the Bucs. Packers got taken care of by the Buccaneers. Ravens got taken care of by the Bills. And as you all know right now, it's us against the Bucs, a team we've already defeated. I went back and watched the game again tonight, folks, and I'm here to tell you it wasn't as close as people think it was. People go back and look at, 27-24 is a tight game. The game was a 10-point game with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go before Tom Brady and the Buccaneers scored with 4:10 to go. Did anybody in Chiefs Kingdom really believe Patrick Mahomes was going to get a couple first downs? At least, if not try to go down and score. The Kansas City Chiefs basically let their foot off the gas in that football game. They had a sack strip fumble early in the game. And I want to get onto that one because here's a big thing. We were going in with 17-0, going in the red zone. We got Patrick Mahomes got sacked, stripped. They recover the ball. Shaq Barrett. You know who he beat? He beat Eric Fisher. Okay? And Eric has been awesome all season long. The Chiefs only gave 2 sacks up the whole game. All right? But everybody's panicking and freaking out because Eric Fisher's gone down. Let me let you in on a little secret. Okay? This has been a patchwork offensive line the whole season. Especially since week 7 when Mitch Schwartz went on the injured reserve list before the game. Actually, let's go back 1 week. Week 6, Mitch Schwartz played 1 drive against the Buffalo Bills. So essentially, we've been without Mitchell Schwartz since week 6. Not into the game, in the game. He hasn't been there. That's 11 games, folks. 11 games this season the starters have played without Mitchell Schwartz. How'd the starters do again this year? Is it 14-1? 14-1 the starters were this season without Mitchell Schwartz. We've lost Eric Fisher, and it's going to be a pain in the butt. It's going to be a challenge. They've got Vita Vea back. Everybody's, Vita Vea this, Vita Vea. Not taking anything away from Vita Vea. Great player. Does anybody think he's better than Aaron Donald? I don't think he's better than Chris Jones. And I give Aaron Donald a slight nod above Chris, just a little bit. But remember Monday Night Football game when we played against the Rams and Aaron Donald was impactful. Aaron Donald made plays. Sack, strip, fumble, leading to a linebacker running it in for a touchdown for the Rams. The Chiefs scored 50 points. A plethora of defensive plays were made by that Rams football team. And a Chiefs team who hadn't won anything yet, who hadn't won a Super Bowl, hadn't won an AFC championship, didn't know what they were capable of, were still growing into the players they are now, put up 50 points against that Rams defense. This defense the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have, it's a solid defense. It's not as good as those Rams. And I guarantee you, way back when we played the Buccaneers earlier this season, Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy were holding back. They're holding out on us, Chiefs Kingdom. They're saving stuff for the Super Bowl this Sunday. They're saving stuff for the biggest game, the biggest moment. A moment that the man who believes he can and the man who believes he can't will have something in common. They'll both be right. One advantage the Chiefs have, the majority of their roster has. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a handful of guys over there. JPP, Shaq Barrett, Gronk, obviously Brady, have all won Super Bowls. They know what it's like. There's a lot of guys in that locker room that haven't won anything. This is their first encounter with winning anything. They've had a big career of not sure they can. The Kansas City Chiefs, most of the roster is coming off, we know we can. We definitely know we can. And anybody that's new is looking around going, I know those guys can. I know the coach can. So let me just do my bit and not be too big in the moment and try to do too much in the moment and make mistakes. Let me just do my job because I've been doing my job all season. And we lost one game, really. Season finale was a win for us, even though it was a loss on the scoreboard, because it didn't affect the status of the playoffs. And we got reps, meaningful reps for backup players against starters that were trying hard to beat us. This team is as weathered and battle-tested. I hate using that phrase because it's not a military thing. It's football. It's fun, okay? They're playoff-tested and tempered. They went into the Cleveland Browns game and were scoring on every drive before Patrick got hurt. And then guess what happened? The defense was like, lock them up. Lock this team down. Went into the Bills game, lots of hype. Bills could be the team to knock the shit. Bills scored the first 9 points, and the Bills scored the last 9 points. And in between, they lost 38-6 to the Kansas City Chiefs because after a big mistake by McCole Hardman, the team showed him they have his back. They went over there and pumped him up. Quarterback, tight end, other players. We got you, bro. You're going to make a play for us. He did make a play. He had a catch for a touchdown where he darted through a couple defenders where he and Tyreek Hill are probably the only guys in the field that had the speed to make that play happen because there was a small hole and they had no time to close it because he was too fast. And then he had a 50-yard rush, end around, wide receiver end around, where he just ripped them apart. And ripped their heart out in a lot of ways because that defense was shaken after that play. Didn't help that Tyreek Hill did the same thing for about 71 yards on the short catch and just further intimidated them. Now, are we going to intimidate the Buccaneers? Probably not. They're probably going to be pretty salty. It's going to be a tough game. They're going to be a little dirt. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to warn you right now. You're going to see some dirty shots. On the second last drive by the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes got clubbed in the head by JPP. And the flag was super late. It wasn't until after Patrick Mahomes was going over to the ref, like, he hit me in the head. Like, they finally called it. I don't know what they were waiting on. BA, their coach, went beat red in the face, freaked out, blah, 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 blah. losing his temper. And then the referees proceeded to call back-to-back holding calls on the Chiefs and knock them back to make it. It ended up being 3rd and 27. We had to punt. Same thing happened conversely on the other way. When the Bucs got the ball back, Frank Clark gave them a little bit of JPP medicine. Just didn't need to do it. It was egregious. It wasn't as bad as JPP's, but it was still hand the helmet. It's a flag. And then the second time, he got another one for the same thing. His hand went up into the throat area of Tom Brady. I don't think it was dirt because immediately he pulled his hands back. He looked like he didn't mean to do that. It went there. He realized, oh, crap, I can't do it. Another big penalty. The penalties marched them down. They scored with 4:10 to go. Both teams had 2 timeouts left. And the Chiefs proceeded to get first downs, use up their timeouts, get first downs, use up their timeouts. This is a team that didn't allow people to run the football, much like the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl last year. And I would argue with anybody who disagrees with me that the San Francisco 49ers defense was much more formidable last season than the current Tampa Bay Bucs defense. They're tough. They're bad. They're a bad crew, this Tampa Bay Bucs defense. But that 49ers defense had me nervous. Not only that they would stop us, but they would hurt our players a lot because there was a lot of speed and power and first-round draft picks all over the place. I feel like we're going to be able to run the ball. Lev Bell had his best game of the season against the Buccaneers, and he's finally healthy. And I hope he's not inactive, mysteriously inactive in this game. I hope he's healthy, and I hope we get a lot of him and Clyde Edwards-Helaire going, yeah, see, we can get 4 or 5 yards of carry like we did the first time. Vita Vea or no Vita Vea, we're not letting this team stop us. I'm sure Andy's going to mix in a lot of little stuff. We got Merlin. Andy Reid's the Merlin in the Camelot. He's mixing up all the potions and concoctions and casting spells. And we got our knight leading the way, Patrick Mahomes. Okay, our King Arthur. He's leading the charge. And we got all the knights of the round table working with him, the Lancelots, the Kelseys, the Tyreek Hills, the Hardmans, and probably a few guys, Pringle and that, are going to be sprinkled in there making plays we're not expecting. We got the sharks swimming in the moat. If they do happen to get past the stone cold golem that is Chris Jones. I'm hearing a lot of talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. And I'm not hearing much said about the Kansas City Chiefs defense. And it's getting me salty. I think the Bucs are salty. I'm getting salty. And if I'm getting salty, guess what, folks? If I'm getting a little uppity, I'm getting a little bit upset. I was mostly an offensive player, but I played some defense as well. If I'm getting a little upset, you think that the Kansas City Chiefs offense and defense, the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, do you think that they're not getting a little salty, a little fired up? And they're not going, yeah, we hear what you're saying and we hear what you're not saying. And we're listening. And we're bringing it. People argue that we saw their A game against the Bucs the first time around. They argue that we saw the Chiefs' A game against the Bills. I submit to you, dear listener, that we have not yet seen the A game. I think we're going to see it on Sunday. I think we're going to see the Chiefs come out hot and hard and fast and bringing it. And bringing the noise and leaving no doubt whatsoever who the better team is. I'm picking the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl 38-21. It could be 48-21 if the Chiefs get more salty than I'm feeling they are right now. It could get ugly. I think there's going to be multiple turnovers. Don't forget, against us, Brady threw 2 interceptions. The 2 most important games to look at, the game we played against the Buccaneers and the last game the Buccaneers played against the Packers. In those 2 games, Brady has 5 interceptions. Look for our team to take care of the ball. Look for them to be laser focused. Look for the defense to be hungry and snapping and flipping around. Juan Thorner, Alex Okafor, Darrell Williams, 3 guys that weren't in the Super Bowl last year because they were hurt. They're going to be there. They're going to be fired up, and they're going to be coming. They want a ring that they feel they've earned. Because I guarantee you, they built and they helped make that team what it was last year. But there's going to be a little part of them that's like, I don't feel like I earned it because I wasn't out there on that field. They're going to get it. They're going to get it this Sunday. Look for the Chiefs to go back-to-back. For Patrick Mahomes to have 2 Super Bowl rings and still only have 9 losses on his career. That's crazy. That's so great. I'm banking on the Chiefs for a big game this weekend. I'm banking on for big celebrations all over Chiefs Kingdom all week long, and I'm looking forward to that parade, whatever it's going to be, whatever kind of weird social distancing event it's going to be. let's just end this whole COVID cycle with a win. Go Chiefs.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.